She was worth billions, feared by boardrooms, admired by the world, yet on her knees in a quiet hospital corridor, she whispered 5 words to a man who cleaned floors for a living. "Please, marry me." What the janitor asked in return would silence the room, expose hidden wounds, and change both their lives forever. Everyone knew Evelyn Carter as the Iron Queen of Carter Industries. A self-made billionaire. A single mother. A woman who never lost. Magazines praised her brilliance, investors trusted her instincts, and enemies feared her silence. But behind the glass walls of her penthouse and the flashing cameras, Evelyn lived with a pain money could not touch. Her 7-year-old daughter, Lily, was the center of her universe, and the reason her heart was always afraid. Lily had been sick since birth. Weak lungs, fragile immunity, endless hospital visits. Evelyn would trade every company she owned just to hear her daughter laugh without coughing. That night, the hospital was quieter than usual. Rain tapped against the windows like a warning. Lily lay asleep, machines breathing for her. Doctors had done all they could. Evelyn stood alone in the corridor, holding herself together with nothing but willpower. That was when she noticed him. The janitor. His name tag read Daniel. He was mopping the floor slowly, carefully, as if the hospital itself deserved respect. He didn't stare at her wealth or her status. He didn't rush. When Evelyn dropped her phone, it was Daniel who picked it up, looked her in the eyes, and simply said, "Rough night?" No one had asked her that in years. From that night on, Evelyn saw him often. Daniel was always there, quiet, kind, unnoticed by the world. He spoke gently to patients everyone else ignored. He brought crayons for sick children. Lily smiled whenever Daniel entered the room, calling him Uncle Danny. Evelyn didn't understand why his presence calmed her. She only knew that when Lily's condition worsened and the doctors gave her devastating news, experimental treatment, low chances, enormous risk, Evelyn broke for the first time in her life. In the empty corridor, with fear crushing her chest, she did the unthinkable. She grabbed Daniel's arm. Her voice trembled. Her knees touched the cold floor. "Please," she whispered, tears streaming freely. "Marry me." Daniel froze. Nurses stared. Time stopped. The billionaire who never begged had just begged a janitor. But Daniel didn't smile. He didn't accept. He didn't reject. Instead, he asked one question that would change everything. Daniel looked down at Evelyn, not with pride, but with sadness. "I'll marry you," he said quietly. "But not for money, and not for power." The corridor went silent. Evelyn looked up, confused, desperate. "Then what do you want?" Daniel swallowed hard. "I want you to stop running. I want you to be a mother before you're a billionaire. And if Lily survives, I want you to build a free hospital wing for children who can't afford hope." Evelyn felt like the ground shifted beneath her. No lawyer had ever demanded this. No investor had dared. And yet this janitor, this man with nothing, asked for everything that mattered. Memories flooded her mind. Missed birthdays. Board meetings over bedtime stories. Nights Lily slept alone while Evelyn chased another deal, another number, another win. Daniel continued softly. "I lost my wife and son because we couldn't pay for treatment. I clean these halls now so other parents don't feel as helpless as I once did." Evelyn's heart shattered, and healed, at the same time. She said yes. Not because she needed a husband, but because she needed to become human again. Lily's treatment began weeks later. Against all odds, she responded. Slowly, painfully, but surely. Evelyn stayed by her side every night. She read stories. She held her hand. She learned that success meant nothing if love wasn't present. True to her word, Evelyn funded a children's hospital wing in Daniel's family name. Not for publicity. Not for praise. For promise. Months later, Lily ran through that same hospital corridor, laughing, breathing freely, alive. She threw flowers at Daniel and Evelyn during a small, quiet wedding held in the hospital garden. No billionaires. No cameras. Just truth. Evelyn learned that love doesn't come from power. It comes from humility. Daniel learned that healing isn't just medicine, it's compassion. And Lily learned that miracles happen when hearts choose each other over fear. People thought the story ended with the wedding. They were wrong. Love did not erase the past overnight, and healing did not mean life suddenly became easy. After the quiet ceremony, reality returned, louder than ever. Evelyn moved out of her penthouse and into a modest house near the hospital. The board of directors was furious. Headlines mocked her. Billionaire loses her mind, marries janitor. Investors pulled back. Stock prices dipped. For the first time in her career, Evelyn was not celebrated, she was questioned. At night, doubt crept in. Daniel noticed it first. Evelyn would sit at the kitchen table, staring at spreadsheets, hands shaking, torn between the woman she had been and the mother she was becoming. Power had been her armor for so long that living without it felt like standing naked in the storm. Daniel never judged her. He simply sat beside her and said, "You don't have to prove anything anymore." But Evelyn was afraid. Afraid she had given up too much. Afraid love wouldn't be enough. Afraid that if Lily got sick again, she would break beyond repair. Then Lily collapsed one afternoon at school. The old fear returned like a knife to the chest. Doctors said it was a complication, manageable, but serious. Evelyn rushed to the hospital, panic flooding every step. She expected Daniel to be calm like always. Instead, she found him crying in the hallway. That moment changed her forever. The man who had survived losing everything was still terrified of losing again. Evelyn realized something painful and beautiful. Love does not make you fearless, it makes you honest about your fear. She held Daniel's hand and whispered, "I'm here. This time, I'm not running." Lily recovered. Slowly, steadily. Stronger than before. Evelyn returned to Carter Industries, but not as the Iron Queen. She restructured the company, cutting ruthless policies, expanding healthcare funding, and redirecting profits into research and free treatment programs. The same board that once doubted her now watched in disbelief as the company grew stronger than ever. Not because of fear, but because of purpose. Daniel left his janitor job, not out of shame, but fulfillment. He became director of patient care at the new hospital wing. He remembered every face, every story, every quiet tear in the hallway. One evening, Lily asked Evelyn, "Mommy, why did you cry when you married Daddy?" Evelyn smiled through tears and answered, "Because I finally became brave." Years passed. The headlines changed. Billionaire redefines success. Hospital wing saves thousands. A love story that changed a city. But the real victory was never written about. It was found in bedtime stories. In shared dinners. In mornings without regret. Evelyn learned that kneeling once saved her soul. Daniel learned that asking for compassion can change the world. And Lily grew up knowing that love is not measured by wealth, but by presence. Sometimes, the greatest proposal is not, "Will you marry me?" It is, "Will you change with me?" And sometimes, the most shocking request is not for money or power, but for a heart brave enough to choose love, responsibility, and humanity. Because when we stop chasing success and start choosing people, that's when life finally begins.